At first, nobody inside the arena noticed the change. The teams were warming up as usual, with players stretching, shoes squeaking on the hardwood, and coaches quietly discussing strategy near the bench. To a casual observer, it looked like just another international basketball game. However, one small detail on the lineup board near the scorer's table changed everything. For the first time that night, Caitlin Clark was in the starting lineup. The moment the announcer called her name, the arena erupted with excitement. Fans leaped to their feet, and some even laughed in disbelief because everyone understood the significance of that moment. For weeks, basketball fans had been waiting to see what would happen if Clark was finally given complete control from the opening tip. Not limited minutes or cautious rotations, but a full opportunity to lead. Across the court, the New Zealand players gathered in a huddle while their coach rapidly explained the defensive plan. Stay close to shooters, apply pressure on the ball, and force difficult shots. On paper, it sounded like a solid strategy, but there was one major problem. They had never faced a player like Caitlin Clark before. As the referee stepped to center court and tossed the ball into the air, the game began. Clark's first possession appeared simple as she slowly brought the ball up the floor, calmly observing and studying the defense. Two defenders immediately shadowed her after she crossed half-court, clearly determined to prevent her from shooting. Clark responded with a quick smile, one sharp dribble, and a sudden sidestep before firing a lightning-fast pass across the court. The defense reacted too late. A corner three-pointer swished through the net just 7 seconds into the game, sending the crowd into a frenzy. New Zealand's coach rose from the bench, not in anger but in concern, because the play had looked far too easy. The next possession was even more alarming.
Team USA finally puts Caitlin Clark into the starting lineup. However, everything that glitters ain't gold. Remember last season we saw lineups with Ari McDonald at the 1, Kelsey Mitchell at the 2, Caitlin Clark at the 3. Yeah, Caitlin Clark was playing the 3. Caitlin Clark off ball, screening, relegated to a screener. Yeah, that's how the game started out. But if you held on long enough, if you held on long enough and waited till the fourth quarter, we finally got what we've been asking for, Caitlin Clark at the 1, Paige at the 2, Ray Burrell at the 3, Monique Billings, Kiki Iriafin rounding out that lineup, and the offense ran through Caitlin Clark. There is no if, and...
The sound inside the arena exploded once again. Even some players on the bench were laughing in disbelief, because the shot did not seem difficult for Clark at all. With the defense forced to extend farther from the basket, the entire floor suddenly opened up. On the next possession, Clark drove straight through the defense with confidence. As two defenders collapsed toward her, she calmly threaded a pass through traffic to a teammate for an easy layup. Another assist. The momentum continued to build as the scoreboard quickly climbed. The lead grew from 10-2 to 16-4, and New Zealand looked increasingly frustrated, because nothing they tried seemed to work. Every defensive adjustment was met with another smart decision, another precise pass, or another scoring opportunity created by Clark. Meanwhile, she sat calmly on the bench during a timeout, sipping water without showing much emotion. There was no excessive celebration, no trash talk, and no dramatic reactions, just complete focus. That calm confidence may have been the most intimidating part of all, because she looked like someone who already knew exactly what was going to happen next.
With 51 points and 25 assists, and today she had 14 points, 6 assists, and 2 steals, leads all players through 4 games. The most points and the most assists, and the most efficient of them all as well. Like I was saying earlier, Caitlin Clark finally thrust into the starting lineup. Monique Billings, Caitlin Clark, Chelsea Gray, Dearica Hamby, Kelsey Plum. Kelsey Plum and Chelsea Gray with Caitlin Clark? Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. That ain't it, coach. That ain't it, coach. We got to switch this up. Something needs to change here. Of course, people are finally excited about that. The universe is in alignment now. Cece is starting. Can we please put Paige in this group and take Gray off? Her pace is too slow. This is a terrible lineup. Why start 3 guards? Why start 3 guards? Absolutely. And it's been a rotating lineup. So why are we just sticking with Chelsea Gray in the starting lineup? I don't know. Politics, perhaps? CC hitting the bigs and another midi. Let's take a look right over here. Whoop. Caitlin Clark, nice pass to Monique Billings. Monique finishes at the hoop. And again, people continue to say Caitlin Clark has no mid-range game. Early on in the first quarter, Caitlin Clark pulling up from deep, crosses half court, rejects the screen from Monique Billings, step back, pull up, bang. Now Caitlin Clark today from 3, 2 for 7 from 3, missed a couple open opportunities. This could have been a 20-point game. Very easily, Caitlin Clark could have dropped 20. 6 for 11, 2 for 7 from 3, 14 points, 6 assists. Easily could have dropped 20 if she hits those 2 threes. Stand out in particular. I think it was the first play of the game. She had a nice look at the three-point shot, and then somewhere in the fourth quarter, she had another very solid look at a three-pointer. Ended up missing them, but still 14-6, solid stat line. Ryan Howard came alive after game 1 as well. 18 points for Ryan Howard. Paige Becker, 7 points for Paige, 3 for 8. 2 for 5 from 3, 1 for 3 from the 3-point line for Paige Beckers. Chelsea Gray, 5 points, 5 assists in 15 minutes. No Ka Copper today. I wonder if Ka Copper is working through an injury. Why didn't she play? I am curious as to why Ka Copper didn't play at all. But look at this here. We got Kelsey Plum skipping. This is what I wanted to show you, though. Of course, Kelsey Plum is going to pass back to, I believe that's Chelsea Gray over there. But look at Caitlin Clark on the top of your screen. And then look who I believe is either Kiki Irifin or Monique Billings screening.
Then she did something that made the
Then Clark did something that made the entire arena gasp. As she crossed half court, the defense stepped forward, anticipating her next move. She paused for a split second, creating just enough uncertainty, and then launched a shot from nearly the logo. The ball soared high through the air. For a brief moment, the arena fell silent. Then came the splash of the net, followed by an explosion of cheers from the crowd. Even the commentators could not help but laugh because by that point, her performance seemed almost unfair. The New Zealand players looked exhausted, not physically but mentally. Every defensive adjustment they attempted had already been anticipated and countered by Clark. She controlled the pace of the game, dictated the spacing on the floor, and orchestrated the entire rhythm of every possession. By the time she finally checked out of the game, the outcome was no longer in doubt. Despite playing only a limited number of minutes, Clark had completely transformed the contest. The scoreboard displayed a commanding lead, while fans remained on their feet, cheering and trying to comprehend the performance they had just witnessed. Across the court, New Zealand's players sat quietly on the bench, some staring at the floor and others gazing at the scoreboard, reflecting on an experience unlike anything they had faced before. They had not simply encountered a talented player or watched a great performance. They had witnessed someone capable of bending the entire structure of a basketball game around her presence. As the final buzzer sounded, a realization spread throughout the arena. This night was about more than a victory. It was a glimpse of what happens when Caitlin Clark is fully unleashed. And if she could create this level of impact in a single night, everyone was left wondering what might come next.